Good morning.
Okay. It is not morning.
It is not morning. It's almost good evening.
Yeah, it's almost good evening. Who are we?
I'm Christy Greenberg.
I'm Jeff Redding.
What are we doing?
Chilling.
We're recording a podcast.
That too. Whoops. Honestly. That's what we're doing, recording a podcast. Yeah.
We are recording a podcast. So how's your week?
Good. Busy, but good. Just getting back locked in and getting some things organized and getting ready for the year to kick off. So I'm excited. Really excited. Really
That's good.
focused and really ready to go. What about your week?
It was a lot better than last week.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. But,
Yeah, no. Ouch.
I mean, yeah.
I had a good week. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No,
but
that's
good for
good.
you. I'm glad it's a better week.
No, it was a much better week. I got a lot more done. I'm tired, if you can't tell, from my yawn. That's classy. Let's leave that in.
Yeah, leave that in. Don't drop it.
I won't edit out the yawn.
Don't mix it.
They don't know why that's funny.
No, that's funny, yeah.
That's from your cooking.
Yeah.
Jeff does this thing. He makes these desserts that are freaking fantastic. But you learned it from what, a video?
Yeah.
And so anytime he made it for a while, he would go, the lady in the video would say, "Don't mix it." And so he randomly will scream, "Don't mix it." I think it's more funny if you're there. This might not.
I mean, it didn't transfer over to the podcast.
It might not track as funny, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's still funny in real life. So you want to tell him a funny story?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you.
No, I don't go first. I'm not good at this stuff, so go ahead.
I was thinking that you could remember.
Either probably never
Oh, no.
happened.
So we were in the car. You and I.
Okay.
And you said, that should have been something for the podcast. Do you remember what happened?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Jeff was driving down the road. And I was in the passenger seat.
Where were you? Oh, really? The back seat, the trunk? You said
No.
the passenger seat.
The front passenger seat. And, his driving skills, I felt like he needed some coaching. Yes?
No.
No, I felt like you needed coaching.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes.
And what'd you say?
I don't know.
You remember what you said?
No, it was kind of quick. Because
So-
you irritated me.
So there was a car coming. We were in like the middle lane, and there's a car from the right going into the middle lane, like ahead of us, and a car from the left, but also going into the middle lane. And I went, Jeff, do you see it? Do you?
It was
and
so
he
extra.
he goes, real slow, turned his head over, and he goes, first of all, you don't have brakes. Second, I'm the one driving the car looking, yes, Christy, I see it. Yes, I see it. And I was like, I just felt like you needed help.
I did not need help.
And that's what he said. And he was real mad. I was really trying to be helpful.
Now you literally was getting in the way. Jab. That's in the way.
I had to pause that. I literally just got choked on my water.
And some good ice.
And some good ice. You make fun of that too. Me and my son have a thing called good ice. And if you're here in Florida, you can go to the racetrack and get a Polar Pop for 79 cents.
So you just did a commercial for a racetrack and the polo ball. And with a pop.
It's 85 with tax.
Okay. You give a commercial to the tax. Good.
But they have got this crushed ice. It's kind of like snowy ice. And it's the best ice, and I love it. And so does my old son. And he'll be like, hey, Mama, when we're coming home from work, because we work at the same place. For those that don't know, me and him work together. Mm-hmm. But he'll be, and he rides with me. And he'll go, hey, Mom, on the way home, you want to stop and get that good ice? Most people are like, you want to go out and get a drink? Do you want to go to dinner? Me and Tart go get the good ice. But then what did I say to you before we did this podcast?
Can we go get the good ice?
Yep.
I'm like, what?
And did I have any money?
No, I don't think you did.
I didn't.
Yeah, no.
I was like, will you take me to get the good ice and will you pay for it? Because I forgot my wallet.
I'm like, what?
It was 85 cents.
Well, for some people, that's a lot. Like me. I'm some people.
You're not.
Wow. You just took what I was.
Well, I mean, it was probably in your cup holder because as often as you throw change.
Calm down. Take the bass out your voice.
Daddy sing bass.
What?
You know there's a country song and it says, Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I have.
Just from me? Or like from other people?
I heard on the radio.
Really?
Yes. He said, just from me or from other people? The radio.
Maybe it was me on the radio with my mad skills. You know that, first of all, I would like to say that there has been requests. And one of the requests is that I recite Latin choral lyrics. I plan to do it. I just need Jeff to get me some Latin choral lyrics.
Okay.
Because apparently Laetatu Sum was enjoyed by all. Also, Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air.
Yeah, you jacked that part up.
It wasn't.
Doomaluma, doomaluma.
We don't do Maluma. Well, at least my part didn't do Maluma.
I'm just hearing this anger in your voice. I'm just trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Because all you ever say, I say Ezekiel saw the wheel, and I remember, like the little wheel running by faith. I remember what happened, and then you're over there going, do Maluma. What?
I don't even know what to tell you right now. Thank you for joining the Red Green Podcast.
Miss McReynolds, help me.
Oh my gosh.
You need to take his Polar Pop from me because I'm going to strangle myself again.
I mean, for real, you just...
Well, so, you know what our topic is going to be about today?
What's up?
What's up? What about? It's about self-care. A lot of folks have asked because apparently they have realized that we have traumatic pasts. Hey, you all seem like your life has been really hard. So what do you do to take care of yourself? Literally, it's basically.
Really?
Literally. So that made me reflect, though, a lot. That question. Because it's like, what is self-care? And then I thought, do I do that? But then I realized I realize when I don't more than when I do.
Right.
You want me to go first?
Please do.
Well, we'll banter.
Okay.
In a bantering spirit?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I realized about myself. If I get depressed or upset, first let me preface this by saying I'm very type A and I'm very OCD.
I agree.
But what will happen is if I get depressed or I get overwhelmed, I will go to a point of almost being able to do nothing. I will do what I need to do for work. Like, work never suffers. I always get my work done. Mm-hmm. Like, my actual 9 to 5, which is really like 7 to 5, but that actual job. That doesn't suffer.
Right.
But every other aspect of my life will. Like, I went through a rough patch, what was it, 2 weeks ago? When I wasn't feeling good. And like, I almost got into depression. I wouldn't say it was full-on depression, but like it was like...
just health wasn't doing well.
I wasn't feeling good. I was having a hard time getting around some and getting frustrated. And I literally walked into my bedroom and it looked like a cyclone hit it.
Yeah.
Like a cyclone hit it. And then I cried. Mm-hmm. And so, but let me tell you, and this is what you need in your life. If you don't have it, work on finding it. But I called him. I said him. Mm-hmm. But I called you. And I called my son. And
your girlfriend?
My son's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And my girlfriend. And my girlfriend, she lives in Virginia. She gave me a game plan of what to do to start. My son's girlfriend came over one night and just cooked dinner. Mm-hmm. And sat and kind of let us all be grounded. And me and the kids and her, we just sat at the table and talked.
Right.
And I didn't have to cook dinner. I didn't have to worry about dinner. It was a nice home-cooked dinner. And everybody was laughing.
Right.
And then you came and helped me clean my room. Mm-hmm. Like, just take the trash out.
Right.
Take the stuff to the road. And fed the kids. Taco Bell. Which is a big deal, not have to stop when you're in the middle of cleaning something for somebody to give you Taco Bell. And let me tell you, if your friends are going through a hard time and they've got kids, go get their kids Taco Bell. I mean, like, for real, though. Like, not having to stop and worry.
Or something else, because Taco Bell could be...
Yeah, well, but you know what I mean. Like, get them something. Because it's seriously like $5. Or go get a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah. One thing that I realize that I do is that I binge eat.
That's a lot for people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so some folks, if they go through a hard time or they're, in a dark spot or whatever you want to call it, they don't eat. I literally do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge fan of Reese's cups. So it's like,
Well,
I
that's
would
because you're a
sit-
good soul.
And
You
I've
don't
been
like
eating-
Reese cups. I don't like you.
Listen, I've been eating Reese's since I was little. So I found out that I needed to, when I do that, it compounds the problem. People self-medicate in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I self-medicate with food. And it's like, no, thank you. Or, a lighter switch. Mm-hmm. A
Flip
switch.
of a switch.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I get past it. And put myself on a diet, get back to the gym, do the things that self-care for Jeff, listen to motivational things, and so on and so forth. Make sure that you surround yourself with people that truly love you and truly are there for you. Don't try to seek out and reach people who don't want to be there for you.
Yeah.
You cannot ever convince somebody to support you. That's when you feel like you have to do that. That literally is not the person that's supposed to be around you. And so these are just life lessons,
I think that you skimmed by way too many things. So
Okay.
I'm going to touch on
Yeah,
each
go ahead.
one. You said
Yeah.
like 8. You had like 8 good nuggets real quick. And
Right,
this was
right. Let's back up.
You just rapid fired them.
Yeah.
1, I'm going to co-sign. I think so many people, a big part of self-care is realizing 1, take care of self. 2, it's no one else's job to take care of you.
No.
And then, but part of self-care is being appreciative of those who are there to take care of you, even when you don't expect them to be or need them to be.
Right. And to add on to that, it's literally making sure that you have the accurate expectations, first of all, of yourself.
Right.
And that's just a close sound. You need to have expectations of you and remove expectations from everyone else. You have your.
Say that again?
You need to have expectations of you to work on your healthiness, but don't have expectations on someone else or people to. I know what I'm trying to say. To help
Make you happy.
To make you happy. That's not their job.
Yeah.
That's literally, it's not their job. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and this is another thing too. I think, and I see this so much, like even in like women my age. I said that like I was elderly.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that, but I thought
mercy. But no, even like adult women. Like, it's going to sound very 14, but I've seen it. Listen, I've been guilty of it. I'm not for a long time, but I've been guilty of it. I think it's human nature that we want people to like us and we want to feel accepted and
Absolutely.
we want to feel loved.
Absolutely.
I can count on my hand how many close friends I have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it is a very... And I can really count on both hands how many actual friends I have.
Right.
But then I got like 60 acquaintances.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, I like it that way.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we rank our value based upon the number of friends we have or based upon how many people like us. Mm-hmm. That is one of the most unhealthy things that you can do. Because why? The minute they don't like you or the minute they have a problem with you, you go through depression.
Right.
And it's
And then
okay, that
like,
tells you, so you've given your power away to other folks to even dictate how you feel.
I can tell you 2 female relationships that I have been friends with in the past, 2 women I was friends with in the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. Both of them broke my heart.
Right.
And the reason, one of them completely ghosted.
Uh-huh.
Just, she ghosted on me. And I know why she ghosted. It literally had nothing to do with me.
Right.
It was, she had made life choices in her life that caused her some embarrassment, and she rolled out. Mm-hmm. Like, when I say rolled out, we talking like rolled out different state.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, when you had done so much for a person and invested so much in a person, I would never, and here's the key, I would never do that to another person. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I can't expect other people to behave the same way I do.
Right. And the thing about it, you got to be careful to not... I mean, I get that. But you have to be careful not when you judge people through your lens,
Yeah.
that can be unhealthy also. Because you're only looking at your part of it. Now when it comes to ghosting, is it unhealthy? Absolutely. That when someone does that, that says a lot more about them. Their communication skills, their whatever that they're dealing with. Way more about you. You let them ghost though. And you keep on going.
Right.
You don't let what they do define how you respond, which is hard. Easier said than done.
Oh yeah.
So we're not coming from a place of, oh yeah, we've done this. No, you're human. It's gonna hurt your feelings. But then at what point do you sit
cried.
there? Yeah, but what point do you sit there and say, okay?
But then there was another woman who ghosted. Well, that we broke up. She broke up with me. She literally texted me a breakup. I'm serious. And you know why?
Why?
Because I didn't. I can't even get into it because then people would know who it was. But anyway, because this was years ago. I don't think me and you had met yet.
Right.
But I lived in Florida. Okay. But I don't think we had met yet. But, so she was mad. She was mad basically, though, out of, I didn't give her information that she felt like she deserved, but it wasn't my story to tell. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those, if they're going to talk about you, or they're going to talk about somebody to you, they're going to talk about you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't do that. I don't play that game. If I'm going to talk about you, I'm going to talk about you to your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So in that situation, I was just like, listen, it wasn't my story to tell. And then she sent me a text message how she felt betrayed. Because it wasn't my story to tell. I'm like, okay, well, then. Which hurt my feelings because it made me feel bad that she felt bad that I hadn't told her a story. But then, do you know how freaking peaceful I realized my life was once she left? Because did she ever come pick up my kids? No. How many times did I have to go get her kids? A lot.
Right.
Like, did she, when somebody was gone like that, I realized just how much that relationship, like, sucked from me of my energy. And it was like the Lord just plucked her up and took her out and said, you know what, we're going to be done with that.
Right.
And although it still kind of hurt my heart.
And it doesn't mean just because y'all had something bad happen, it didn't mean that she was a bad person. It didn't mean, that, anything that way. She may have just been bad for you. Or y'all, you know what I'm saying? There was some energy right there that didn't work oftentimes.
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe not.
maybe not. Or
maybe not.
Or maybe she was bad. You know what I'm saying? It could be that. Yeah. So you just have to.
No, I want you said something else, though. That was good stuff about self-care. You said, when you're in a funk, you listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks.
Any recommendations?
Oh, yeah. I got to pull
one. Or you want me to put them link it in the bio?
Yeah, link in the bio. But the one that is absolutely brilliant, and I'm pulling it up as we speak, I'm sorry, but it's absolutely brilliant. And it's Set Boundaries, Find Peace. That is absolutely the incredible. I got to give her Nedra Glover Tawwab. Brilliant. I love putting Facebook posts, inspirational Facebook posts. If I see something that's like, wow, I love that because, one, I want to inspire others as I inspire myself. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, this life, it has its ups and it has its downs. And so I'm always looking for things or reading things for self-care to be a better version of myself, and how can I be better? How can I improve from this part? How can I improve from, and this just didn't happen with me. I've been this way my whole life. So it's like, okay, how can I improve? And so therefore,
you've been what way your whole life?
Driven just to try to be better.
Okay.
If, it's just like...
Like in different aspects, not just like quote looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
In different... I just think of things that just will inspire me.
Okay.
And so, okay, how can I... And if I hear this, someone else may need to hear. But sometimes I just see stuff that hits me. And I say, oh, someone may need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is beautiful. It don't even apply to me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's oftentimes if I put a quote on, somebody send a message, "Are you okay?" I'm
Listen,
absolutely fine.
Let me tell you.
No, wait. I'm absolutely fine. Disclaimer: I don't go on Facebook and do stuff like that. So if I see something, it's literally to inspire. Thank you for caring, but that's just not it.
Thank you for coming to his TED Talk. He is okay.
No, there's not always something behind. If you know anything about me, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm aggressive.
Why are you so rude?
You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. But my whole point is, when I see stuff like that, sometimes it's just something just hits me, and I say, "Hey,
yeah,
you know," because I said we have all, we all go through stuff in life, and so we all need to pick me up. And at the end of the day, that quote may not hit you today. It may come up on your Facebook feed a year from now,
Facts.
and all of a sudden, boom,
it
makes
be the
sense.
Lord giving you self-care, and you
know,
prophesying in the future.
So it's like, so it's like, hey, but that's my heart. It's like, how can we're all in this together? I don't need to know your story to know that you have gone through something, are going through something, or will go through something. How do I know that? You inhaled and you exhaled. That's it.
True.
So,
a way I self-care, yoga.
Yeah. Yoga is powerful. Yeah. And
I brought this man a yoga strap. Mm-hmm. Self-care made me think, you could use a yoga strap.
Meditation for me.
Meditation for me.
That you brought me that.
Listen, you're welcome.
Yeah, because I was like, huh? But it just...
dirty hippie rolled up.
I mean, for real. Because I said, listen, that ain't my thing. But it just literally centers me. And it's like, okay.
I'll tell you.
And there are times I don't feel like meditating.
Let me tell you, I'm going to plug right now.
Uh-huh.
But it's for Jacqueline.
Okay, yes.
My friend Jacqueline is on. There's an app that Jeff, I believe you still use it, Insight Timer?
Insight Timer.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I use Insight Timer. I love it. There is bedtime meditations, children meditation, guided meditations. If you don't like guided meditations, there's just the timer and the bell and all kinds of other stuff. But I like guided meditations, especially if I'm in a funk. Uh-huh. It's got affirmations, which my kids make fun of me for. But anyway, it works. I don't care. Mm-hmm. But my friend Jacqueline, her name is Jacqueline O'Leary on Insight Timer. And she is a person who talks about love all the time. Mm-hmm. She loves loving people. She loves loving people when they're unlovable, frankly. And she thinks that when people are unlovable, it's just a sign that they need to be loved. And she talks about love. She preaches about love. She writes about love. And she's absolutely beautiful inside and out. Go to Insight Timer. Insight Timer, Jacqueline O'Leary. Follow her. Listen to some. She's got some guided meditations. She also has got some poetry that she has written on and recites on there. Beautiful stuff. So check her out. I will put the link to her check her out on Insight Timer, but I'll put all that information in the show notes.
Right.
But meditation is a big one for me. Mm-hmm. Did you start with Insight Timer?
Yes, I did.
That's Insight Timer. There is some intros and there's some classes that's on there.
Yeah.
If you don't know about meditation, Gabby Bernstein also, she's on YouTube. She can actually guide you through it, even if it's 1 minute.
Yeah.
It's literally, if you can get 1 minute to think about nothing, your heart rate lowers.
Yeah.
It's good for your heart. It's good for your mind. It's good for your body. It's good for your patience. It's good for your temperament.
Also, self-care with social media. Sometimes too much is too much.
Oh, I was like...
You know what I'm saying?
I was about to be like, I disagree. I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or what other
walking
kind
away from.
Walking away from. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from different things and, or so on and so forth. Take steps to do self-care that way, And
knowing your limits.
Knowing your limits. Remove people, block folks, unfollow people. Do things that are healthy for you because you are in control of your own happiness and your own self-care. It is no one else's responsibility but yours. Therapy helps. There are things that sometimes going for a walk. I love nature. I will go out and you laugh.
I know.
But
because you can't walk. We'll go by a retention pond. A retention pond. He'll be like, isn't that pretty over there? It's a retention pond.
Well, for me.
You see pretty and everything.
But no, I actually don't. But.
Rude. Never mind.
At the retention pond, you talking about the retention pond, but I'm seeing the flowers. I'm seeing the brightness of the green grass when the rain has just fallen. I'm seeing a bird fly by, and it speaks peace to me. Or if I go for a ride, riding a bike or something like that. So it's different self-care. Friends. How many friends do you allow around you? How many do you separate yourself from? How many people you got to give a time limit to be around because they're like vampire? You love them, but they're like a vampire. You have to.
Energy vampire.
It's like, okay, time's up. Bye.
Well, I mean, I think too. Yeah, self-care is you've got to. What's the word? Cap certain things and know what your limits are. But I think a lot of times people talk about like bubble baths and massages and all of that being self-care, which sure, of course.
Yeah.
That all can be self-care. Naps can be self-care. But there's a difference in don't coat. I believe that oftentimes I've been guilty of this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have, but I have cloaked something in the term of self-care when really it was depression and avoidance.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to go take a nap and take a bath, and then I'm just going to go lay down because I'm taking care of myself. When actually I was in a depression and feeling sad, and I really needed to get up and talk to somebody and take care of myself in another way. Mm-hmm. You ever done that?
Yeah.
And then hindsight looking back on it?
Absolutely.
I do art for self-care.
Yeah, you do.
That one helps me.
Yeah.
I guess that's like you and music.
Well, music serves many different purposes. So that's one of oftentimes it's my safe place. Oftentimes, it's my comfort. It inspires me. You know what I'm saying? So it does a lot of things, but what it also does, it encourages me to inspire others. And so which is healthy for me. Which is okay, healthy for me. And the thing that I've learned and I'm continuing to learn is that when it comes to self-care, as it comes to my choir, you teach the people that are in front of you. You give them the best you have, be it 5 or be it 50.
Right.
That's healthy self-care for me. I'm not going to run and, it's just like I'm going to focus on what I have. And that's, and then that transfers to how I was raised by my mom. It didn't matter. You take what you have and you build it and you build it to the best that you can be. I mean, that they can be and that you can be. That's self-care also. And it's motivational. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it does for me. Be it choir, be it singing a solo or whatever.
Religion.
Same thing. Absolutely. When it, whatever your faith is or not, or whatever what you believe in, it's that safe space. Is that safe space, or okay, this is where I am. This is who I am. This is my space, and this is how I grow. So, mental health is so important, especially coming out of COVID. Especially coming out of COVID.
Let me tell you, I think COVID though. Mm-hmm. And I'm not making a lot of it at all. I'm saying for me personally, COVID helped me.
In what way?
Mental health.
How?
With the exception of the whole school thing. That gave me some stress.
Yeah. Exactly.
But not my school, the kids' school. Mm-hmm. But I worked the whole time. I had my job. My job didn't really change. There was less traffic. Mm-hmm. There was less pressure from people to do things. Mm-hmm. I do not like people in my house. All of 8 people have been in my house since I have lived in the house that I live in now. Not counting the people who helped me move. Mm-hmm. But, it's because that's like my little safety place. Mm-hmm. Nobody's trying to come over then.
Right.
Grocery stores wasn't crowded.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go. I'm AC/DC. Lord, she was a fast asthma. No, I'm
Wow.
OCD. And everybody had arrows going up one way down the aisle. No one was coming at me head on. You know, it was just like for things like that, it gave me. Well, you've been with me in a crowd.
Yeah.
How do I do?
Let's get out of here. I can't stand it. Yeah.
I literally
Yeah.
can't stand it. I'm doing better now, though. I think since I got weaned back into it,
Right.
I'm doing a little bit better. But, you know, a big thing of self-care. We had this big plan, you and I,
Right.
that we were going to, on 4th of July, go to Disney, do fireworks. I was going to film the fireworks, do a super cool thing with the fireworks for the podcast, with the video. And I felt like garbage. Like I was not having a good lupus day. Like it was not a good day. So, but I am one who does not want to let people down. And like, I don't want to let you down, especially when it comes to something to the podcast. And you were like, I mean, do you think we should go? Cause like, and finally I sat my butt down on this couch and was like, we're staying here. Like, I can't go.
And we moved on and you know, this.
We didn't go. But that was so hard for me.
Right.
To say, you know what? I'm going to take care of me right now. Not do what I feel like I have to do for everybody else.
Right.
Because it's not good for my body right now.
Yeah. Well, COVID for me, it was different. I think it was, I want to say good and bad. Bad from the standpoint of me wanting to, you know, COVID had taken away so much. I just started a brand new job and, you know, and was trying so badly with the different jobs I had to create a sense of normalcy for everyone else. I was so concerned about everyone else's emotion and how they're going to feel if they don't sing, or how they're going to do this if they don't do this. I didn't take care of myself, which was not good. And so that's when I had to take a million steps back and say, wait a minute, you got this all wrong. And that's what then COVID, you know, and, you know, unfortunately with all the deaths and all the other stuff that went on with it, it forced me to slow down. Because I tried to fight through it as opposed to just sit back finally. And I finally just sat back and then started focusing on self-care because I didn't have a choice.
Right.
It's funny, oftentimes when you have a choice, you choose not to do self-care because you put something else on your agenda or your schedule. Well, my agenda and schedule was filled up with, can you get you healthy, Jeff? So you can be what you need for you first and foremost. And then you can be what you need to be for other folks. But if you don't take care of you, you are no good for anyone else.
Let me tell you something. As you said that, and it made me think of my kid. And this is probably a controversial point of self-care. But I think it's imperative. You went, Are you afraid of what I'm going to say?
Yes.
Don't be.
You just never know.
It's true, but don't be. You're going to agree on this one.
You've been told I'm going to agree. Go ahead. You're going to agree.
You are. I know you're going to agree. Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to agree.
Okay.
So, my son did something. He was seeing a girl in January, February, something like that. And she had to move away. She moved to a different state and whatever. And they started bickering back and forth. You know, like via text message and cattiness. And I don't know if it was her or him. Probably a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But I looked at him one day and I said, hey, how's whatever? And he goes, I broke up with her. And I was like, what? Look at my face. What? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, why? And he goes, because every time I talked to her, I was annoyed. It wasn't good. We weren't getting along. I know all she was doing was complaining all the time. So obviously she doesn't want to be with me. And when I would see her name on my phone, I would be like, ugh.
Right.
And he had the cojones and the wherewithal to say, I'm done. Sometimes you got to cut off people for self-care. And one of the biggest, listen, because I'm guilty of this. I have stayed previously in my life with people too long because I don't want to hurt their feelings by breaking up with them. And I think that a form of self-care is ridding yourself of toxic relationships and loving yourself enough to walk away. If it's not good and it's not where you want to be, of course you don't want to hurt people's feelings and stay. You don't want to hurt their feelings and break up with them because you know it'll hurt their... Especially when they're not bad people. You know what I mean? When you don't want to break up with them and be like, ugh. But then sometimes you got to. And to see him at his young age, because at his age, I was the one who was staying.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, I just don't really like him, but he's nice. Like, it's not that I don't... It's not like I hated him, you know?
Right.
But I would stay because I didn't want to hurt their feelings, and it would get too long. And all that did was make them like you more, and you don't like them, and then they get hurt more and longer in the long run. And I think that looking at some relationships, if you see... I don't care if it's male, female, I don't care who it is, what it is, if you're dating, if it's a friend. If it exhausts you and it gives you anxiety when you see it on your phone, let it go. If they call and you don't want to answer, you need to create a healthy space. And also have awareness if someone's trying to create healthy space and be considerate.
Well, with that right there, and going back to what you said, and I'm just thinking about your son and the things you said, what he learned, what he started to figure out was, okay, I need to learn how to set healthy boundaries. And that's what that's all about. What are your healthy boundaries, especially when it comes to him? And I can't tell you what your healthy boundaries are for you. You can't tell me what my healthy boundaries for me or anyone else. Everyone is different.
I can tell everyone.
I mean, that's, anyway. So, so you just find out, okay, what are your healthy boundaries for you? And trying to figure that out. And so what he did, we don't know. I only know what you told me, but I don't know if he tried to talk to her before or he tried to before he, said, okay, I'm done. You see what I'm saying? We don't know. So therefore, there are steps when it comes to healthy boundaries. You figure out what it is, and no one gets to say that for you but you. So like I said, we're all in this road together. What is mental? What is healthy mental health? What is healthy mental health? That made no sense.
I mean, I got it.
Okay.
I knew what you were saying.
Right. Mental health. Healthy.
How to be healthy with your mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, mental health, I've heard, I'm from Northeast Tennessee. I've heard people say, you didn't have therapy. People didn't need therapy when you were growing up. You went outside and you mowed the yard and worked in the yard all day and farmed the fields and you went home tired. Great. Yep, you did. We don't do that now.
So you basically didn't deal with your issues. You put something else in front of them.
Well, basically.
And it lasted the whole day. That's what you just told me.
Well, what they said to me was that they didn't have any real relationships that would cause issues because they were in a field and dying from exhaustion.
Well, first of all...
I don't want to die from exhaustion.
And secondly, first of all, going to therapy don't have to be because it's based on a relationship.
Correct.
It's not all relationship based.
I went in therapy for a relationship.
It's like nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's whatever it is.
Yeah, and people get the stigmata of, like, I said stigmata. That is the thing.
I just was going to let you go with
No, I know what that is.
Because I thought we all knew
the stigma.
What
Listen,
it was.
Sorry, the stigma.
That's that Tennessee came out.
No, that was a pretty. That was the pretty in me. That bleach seeped through.
I mean, that's what it was. That wasn't even Tennessee.
That was just dumb.
Oh.
But the stigma of going to a therapist, and you even said before you struggled with it.
Yeah, because basically it is a oftentimes, and I'm very careful not to speak in absolutes. Because I'm no expert in anything. This is just life experience, and the reason for this podcast, you take what works for you. Agree or disagree. So this is not coming from that standpoint. It's just saying, like, for me, it was like a sense of pride. I don't need no help. But But as I dealt past pride, why did I have pride? Because I had fear. I covered it with pride. Because
That's big.
Because then I would expose my heart or expose my pain. And
You had fear, so you covered it with pride. I haven't caught up with you yet. I stuck on that.
Yeah. It's because
how many people do that?
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I know I did. And I know I still sometimes do, and I still work through it because I'm not there yet. I'm striving for. I haven't arrived. So therefore, saying it again, it came off as pride, but it was fear. So once I let go of the pride, I was able to deal with the fear. And once I am able and continue to deal with the fear, then I'm able to stand up and say, hey, my professor would always tell me, who claps for you? Why do you give people the power to have an opinion about you or hurt you who don't know you or don't want to get to know you? Why do you do that? And the more I wrote down a list of people who really support me, and then I wrote down a list of people who didn't support me. Mm-hmm. But then I looked at that list who didn't support me. It was more so of who I wish they would have supported me. And that was an ouch. Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of removed and said, this is what it is. And then you look at being a servant leader. You're not going in a position of leadership. Everyone doesn't want what you have to offer. Everybody doesn't want to hear what you have to say. And that's really great. It took me a long time to get to that point. Hold on for a second.
Sorry.
You have to give, if you choose to be a leader in anything, you literally give to the people who are in your presence, who want to be in your presence. You don't sit there and search for folks who don't want to be there. That's crazy.
I heard you talk many a time. Mm-hmm. And the stuff that you've said to kids and stuff like in the past. And
right.
I know I've said this to you in private. I don't know if I ever said it on this podcast, but I will say it now. I totally thought you were so full of it that it was a good speech. Did I ever tell you that? I did tell you that, didn't I?
Yeah, you told
me. We have a servant's heart. And I was like, okay.
Right.
I literally thought that.
I thought you were so full of crap.
I literally did.
I said, I'm
but
really
until,
not. Uh-huh.
No, but
okay.
I know you saying that. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Until, though, I experienced your servant heart to me. Mm-hmm. And you, when I was sick and I couldn't go to the store, mm-hmm. you had Gatorade at the door. Mm-hmm. You would drop Gatorade off. What do you need? Talk to my friend Michelle. Uh-huh. This is something that's going on. This is what she might need. It's so... And then as I got to know you, like I actually paid more attention, I guess I should say. Not got to know you because I already knew you, but right. As I paid more attention, you really do that with everybody. Mm-hmm. It might not be Gatorade. I don't mean like you're the Gatorade delivery person. Yeah. But if there's a way that you can truly help, you will help. Mm-hmm. If you're told.
Right.
If you are told there's a need, you will do your best to fill the need.
You have to learn to help people without having an agenda behind the help. If that makes sense to you. I'm going to help you because I care, not because I want to hear thank you.
Right.
It's because you never know when you're going to be in the same position.
Right.
And you're going to you're going to need some help. And I learned that a long time ago, just growing up poor and growing up and watching people help me. And I was just working hard. Or watching people help my mom without expectation. When you see something in someone, you try your best to give to them. If they will accept it, and if. Right, there's a lot of ifs there. But you just don't know. So when you keep in mind, do you get your feelings hurt sometimes? Yes. Do you, get stepped on? Absolutely. That's part of it. So that's why you don't give to everybody. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to continue to go. So when I tell this to the students, or to my community choir, or to my college, or whatever, it's like, I don't expect everybody in the room, just like how you said, I thought you was full of it. I never expected you to get it. But that's not gonna stop me from telling where I'm coming from. Because if you understand my heart truly, when I was in Oklahoma, and I was speaking to this room of teachers, and I was just speaking. Again, mental health, and we was talking about mental health, and just how can teachers go back into after COVID and deal with all this, and so we're just talking, and this older man, I mean, he's retired age, I should say, and he and his wife was right there, and he started crying, and said something to me privately, which I won't say here, but it was so touching what he said. He saw me. He didn't see, he just saw me. And it was like, I see you, and I see your heart. And I went back to my hotel room and I cried. I didn't, but it was like, it's that sometimes folks in podcast world, you get a blessing in return when you don't even look for it. You pick yourself up, you keep going, and realize this: there's a powerful message. I mean, those who listen to preaching, T.D. Jakes talks about, and it talks about everything that you've gone in your life is not wasted. Nothing that you have been through in your life is wasted. It's everything that you've gone through, good, bad, or indifferent. Let me tell you this: none of it is wasted. You learn the correct lessons that are meant from it, and then you continue to grow. Be it looking at yourself, be it looking at others, you learn the right lessons. Because if you learn the wrong lessons, you're going to go through it over and over again until you learn the correct lessons. But I hear people, and I read some stuff, well, I just wasted my time doing this, or I can't believe that, and nothing that you have gone through in life is wasted if you learn the correct lessons that you're supposed to get from it. And it's all about self-help, and just go. So.
Okay, that was a lot of good info. Good job.
Good job, you too.
Thanks. Okay, so the fun question.
Yes.
From the readers.
Okay. Yes.
I said the readers. You all might be reading this podcast. I might have it as a transcript.
I mean, honestly.
Ugh. Come on,
we
Greenberg.
don't do transcripts anyway. We just kind of go.
No, I was going to do it. No, that's a script.
I'm going to shut my mouth now.
A transcript is like after we do this, you can get a service and they type the whole thing up and people can read it.
I'm so brilliant. Go ahead.
I looked at it, but then I looked at like getting the service for this, and then I was like, we'd have to get a lot of commercials and stuff for I'm paying that kind of money.
I mean, for real.
Like, yeah, I ain't doing it. Anyway, so we'll talk about that off the air.
I mean, for real.
So, question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to splurge on with money? Not food, not Reese cups.
Clothes. I love suits. All day, every day.
So quick.
Clothes.
Suits. Clothes.
Suits. Yes. In fact, I'm going to buy a couple more really soon. Suits.
You are quite snazzy.
Well, thank you. I love suits. Always have. Since I was a kid. I love Easter because we used to get, all my brothers used to get brand new suits. Who?
Let me tell you.
Easter suits. Who?
I don't know where I saw it. I think you might have showed it to me. Maybe your mom had sent it to you or something. But a picture of you as a little boy and you had on a blue suit and a watch.
Yep.
That is that. If I can find it, I'll post it on Instagram.
Thank you, Mama.
That was the cutest.
I only love my bed and my mama. Is that Drake?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Drake.
Okay, well, never mind. That crashed. But yes, thank you, Mommy.
That was cute. Suits, yeah. That was cute. That's a cute picture. You answered too quick. I thought I was going to be able to buy time.
Purchase. Sold! What about you?
That's what I'm saying. I thought I was going to have more time to figure that out.
Okay.
I think, well, no. He just literally tried to coach me on an answer and pulled my hair.
Hair. Say hair.
I don't splurge on my hair. I do certain things to it, and I don't deviate.
Why you sound so vicious about just that?
Because
I don't splurge my hair. Deviate. Okay.
I'm just saying. Anyway, no, my big, like, I like clothes, but I don't really splurge on clothes. I'm pretty much cheap
Right.
with them. Well, I'm either cheap or I can be totally high end. It can go one or the other. I'm either a boutique shopper or Target clearance. It's not much in the middle. Or Goodwill.
Oh, Lord.
Which, I went to Goodwill. Guys, I went to Goodwill this week. And I got these coffee cups. I fussed at my mom the last time I was home because she had these Corel coffee cups. Mm-hmm. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, I'll post a picture of them on Instagram. You probably don't. But they had like a little hook as a coffee cup. And I just remember my dad drinking coffee out of that coffee cup. And I thought that they were cool. And so I asked Molly, I was like, hey, can I have those cups? And she's like, I sold those at a yard sale like years ago. I was like, you're just selling my childhood at a yard sale. Like, how are you doing that? So I was at Goodwill and I found them in the same print. I'm so psyched over it. You don't even know. Anyway, but that was like $1.99 for two and 2 saucers. So that's not very much a splurge. But the thing I probably do splurge on,
What?
but I don't even call that a splurge. I call it a necessity. I get these wild hairs up my hind end that I'm a crafter. I'm very much a crafter.
Right.
And so I've been into this thing here lately of taking like these poor baby dolls that look like who'd have thought it, that's been too loved. Mm-hmm. And then you repaint their faces.
Really?
Yeah, I ain't even lying. Oh. So like you take, like you boil their heads, you cut their hair off and boil their heads and then take acetone.
What, boil? Did you say boil their heads?
Yeah. They're not human, they're plastic.
I mean, I know that, but I'm just saying a little bit.
It ain't an episode of NCIS.
I'm looking at baby doll heads just floating there, and I'm thinking fatal attraction or
because like
or 7 or something.
So like
if
it's a Barbie and the hair is in their head, so there's like little holes in their head that they like stab through their head. Do you like the visual that you just got with it? I literally stabbed him in the head, but that they stick in there. But then when you boil it, it melts the glue down, so you can pull the hair through. With like tweezers. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So you boil their heads, but then you take acetone and rub their faces off. Mm-hmm. And then it's like putting makeup on, which I'm really good at, dolls.
Right.
So, but here's the thing. It's like, should I really spend the money to get the equipment that I need to redo these dolls? And then it's like, no. But yes. But no. But then I remembered for Mother's Day, can you tell that this is recent that this happened? Tarek got me a $50 gift card to Joann's. Mm-hmm. And I bought all the supplies to make these baby dolls. And that's why I went to the Goodwill where I saw the coffee cup was to buy ugly baby dolls. So that I can make them pretty again.
Mental health goes in many different ways. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But, I mean, listen. You like...
music.
Well, no, but like you like... politics. I like to draw baby faces.
I didn't say I just like being informed. I wouldn't say I like politics.
No, I mean like you like to watch that on TV.
Right.
Where I want to watch like true crime. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to watch it. I want to listen to it.
Right.
And draw baby faces on. Dolls. You know. We're the same. We're the same person.
Not at all. Thus the podcast.
So, do you have any closing words?
No, mental health is, I think it's a lifelong process. And we're, like, again, I want to reemphasize, we're not experts in this. We're still learning, and mental health can change as you change. And your expectations of this. So just go through your process, learn new processes. You know what I'm saying? That works for you. And understand we're all in this together. All in this together. You know, how I feel today, I may change 2 weeks from now, you know, but it's actively seeking how can we become healthy. But understanding it's your job for your health, not expectations of anyone else.
But I would say,
Yes.
my closing remarks. I do recommend a meditation practice for everyone.
Absolutely.
If you don't do it, and if you think it's too woo-woo, give it a goog. Like, go to
Yeah.
YouTube. Get on Insight Timer. Check out my friend Jacqueline. Look at the show notes. She's fantastic. But yoga, really good. Yoga is not something that you also don't end up having to look like, a pretzel. You can find a practice for everybody and get some cardio in. Like, no matter how, get some cardio in each day. Me and you both have. Look,
Yes.
we get ready to plug somebody else. I'm going to start charging people. We both have a Halo band from Amazon.
Yes.
And it is a great step activity tracker. And it will tell you how many steps you went, but also if your heart rate got up at all.
Yes.
Though I don't believe the sleep tracker works because or either I'm like cruising, like downtown Winter Garden at night and I don't know it because it says I'm awake and I wasn't. But you have issues with the sleep thing?
Yeah, I do.
So we don't think that the sleep tracker works on it. But
it's still it's
still like for the activity stuff, spot on. But get something like that to where you can track yourself, to hold yourself accountable, because nobody else is going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And check in with yourself. I mean, I think that's the thing that meditation does. Like, if you're, watch your self-care and make sure that your self-care is just that self-care, and it's healthy self-care and not self-care cloaked in or depression cloaked in self-care. Have enough awareness of that. Beyond that, I want to say thank you so much for making us successful.
Oh, I want to add one thing before we go to that one right there.
Okay.
Is
one last thing before we go.
I just thought of something. If you have a topic that you would like us to cover, email us. Because a lot of these topics now we're going off of, because you got a bunch of them last week, and we haven't even gone through all of them. We touched on a couple of them based off of what you asked us. So send questions, and we'll do our best to get to them. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but yeah, do that. I do have a lot on there where there's going to be there's going to be a funny one that we do next week that somebody actually, and listen, I'm a fan of the voice memo. I got 2 voice memos from people. I'm putting y'all on this podcast.
For real.
I'm using your voice, but that's for next week's because this was already planned. But anyway, so I just want to say thank you so much. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Red and Green Colorblind, like our Facebook page, and please, 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 especially if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please, please rate, review, and subscribe. Rate us 5 stars. It really helps us out a lot. It boosts us up in the charts to where it gets to more people. Y'all have been so fantastic about that. Please just keep it up. If you don't know how to do it, scroll down. You'll see the thing. It'll say thank you for submitting feedback. But it really helps us out a lot. We really appreciate it.
I like submitting better than submitting, actually.
But so thank you so much for your support. We're going to keep them coming. And this is
Red and Green, the podcast.